I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help
now
one another.
I'm gonna get
Human
this
beings are like that.
recording. Recording. Yep, it's recording. Yep. Positive. All right. So Andy, I told you during the week that I had a gift for you.
Yeah.
And this is something that I actually hired or enlisted Matthias's help for a school project for him.
Okay.
So I just want to play you something. I'm going to screen share very quickly here in Discord.
Okay.
Uh,
Click in the link in the description down below. All right. Well, it's stream.
all right. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm
so we can
watching.
Get your
I'm
live
watching
reaction
it.
to this.
I'm watching it. Yeah.
So this is my late Christmas gift to you.
Wow.
Wait. No. You can't take that off
back?
my screen. Yeah, of course I want you to go back. Wait,
listen for the sound effects. Shh.
I can't hear any sound.
I can barely
I don't wanna
hear it.
hear that.
Oh God. Is that you on top? No, go back to it.
Yeah,
I want to keep
that's
looking.
me. That's me and that's you.
But wait, yeah, okay. You got one of my tattoos right.
Oh, Dave, he's throwing shade at you. Matthias, he hates you.
Can you take that off the screen?
Okay, yeah. okay,
Wait,
we can-
no. Keep it on
I'm
there.
sorry,
Jesus.
Matthias,
No,
but-
Ali, enjoy the moment. This is beautiful. This is art. And I want you to look in the camera and I want you to thank Matthias for what he did for the show. This is art.
I like that Andy jizzed in his own mouth.
Yeah, I love that. I was about to say that. Also, what is under the
brilliant.
bed, Matthias? That is Lou. Okay. It's the details that do it for me.
Oh, it's
I love the
brilliant.
fact that we're not even too shy to shy away from a window. This is just, can you make it move up and down again? So you're fucking me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Ah,
There we
Jesus.
go.
You're girthy. Yeah, I just jizzed in my own mouth again. There you go.
Wow.
All right, I'll share that with you again, Andy, afterwards. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
so
That is so
thank
lovely.
you, Matthias, for that. That was the best school project you'll ever do, and I'm super glad.
Wait,
that you
what
did
kind
that.
of a school are you going to, my friend?
The best, because
Yeah.
they let him do this shit.
Wait, did
He has
you?
a very happy customer. I'm a
Yeah.
very happy client. I give him like
I'm
ooh,
the
5 out of
happiest
5.
customer right now.
I don't have any comments.
Is
Let's
it
just put it
weird?
like that.
Is it weird to say? And this is probably the first and the only time in my life that I'm gonna say this, but I could taste that picture.
Please tell me you weren't eating asparagus before that.
Ah, it's odd. It's very odd.
Pineapple, maybe pineapples.
What's
You wanted
wrong,
it to
Ali?
taste nice.
Got a difficulty swallowing there? I didn't. I mean, all right. Well, that is a lovely way to start off this episode, I guess. If you want to know what that is all about, see the importance of joining the Discord server. Again, link in the description down below. If you were part of this conversation, we can hold up to 25 something people or something during our recordings that can watch us perform live. And so, yeah, that's the importance of doing and joining the Discord server, chatting with each other. We're building a bit of a community. Discord is an app you can download to your phone. So download it and just click the link in the description down below. And, yeah, you'll be able to join that. God.
And see the best video you will ever.
So girthy. It's incredible. I'm still reacting, I think. It's like eating bad fish. It just keeps going for a while.
That's your own jizz you're talking about.
Yeah, tasted like bad fish. All right. Well, I don't know how to segue into a proper show after that. But hi. I'm Andy. And welcome to. I even forgot my own name just now. Hi, I'm Andy, and welcome to the At Random Podcast. your weekly program where you listen to all sorts of different shit that we like to discuss. And of course, as usual, I'm joined by the biggest penis in all of Sweden.
Ali.
It's Alejandra. Joker Andy is on the show. Last week it was something else. Horrible. But this week it's Joker Andy.
Wait, are you going to incite riots and like...
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
that's my
full
thing.
on off the
How are
deep
you
end?
doing, Alejandra?
I'm okay.
You're doing okay? Had a good week?
I'm holding on.
Okay. And that's good. Yeah. By the way, I wanted to ask you guys, because I've been, and especially Ali, because I know she's like somewhat smarter than I am, quote unquote. I've been struggling with it. So you know how 10 plus 10 is 20?
Yes.
Right? And I've been looking into that because I was researching before we started. How come 10 plus 10 is 20 and 11 plus 11 is the exact same?
What?
No, I'm asking Ali. Like 10 plus 10 is 20, right?
Are you gonna pull some boring
No,
TikTok
I'm
trend
not. I'm
joke?
actually asking you a question because I cannot figure out for the life of me why 10 plus 10 is 20 and then 11 plus 11 is the exact same.
Well, it's not.
What do you mean it's not?
Stop.
What?
Stop it.
Why? What?
Why? Because you know what 11 plus 11 is.
I don't. What? No,
Yeah,
10
okay.
plus.
What?
Just say it.
10 plus 10 is 20. No,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
11 plus 11, 22.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like that's why I didn't even want to engage in it.
Fraxer Andy is at it again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
fucking
This is
die.
why you need to download the app, ladies and gentlemen. It's because you get to see me prank Alejandra. All right. What? Were you gonna suck your microphone, or are you gonna say something?
You want to get? I'll give you a slow clap.
Okay, thank you. Listen. I prepare this show
You feel better?
every day of the week, right? This is 6 days worth of work here, so you better appreciate that.
I can see
all right?
that.
And of course, I'm also joined by the lovely Alex,
Sup?
who's apparently my butt buddy from now on.
Yeah. Damn straight.
I'm not getting over that picture. It's not going away. It's just it brought me into this excited, weirded out sort of phase, you know. I mean,
Well,
we once had Matthias draw Alejandra on this what was it called again? The torturing device?
The Spanish donkey.
Which
And
yeah.
speaking about that, wait, pause.
Okay.
You haven't done none of the punishments that you were supposed to do.
That is absolutely true. I still need to open the fish thing.
You need to eat some surströmming, and
Yeah.
you need to make a porno intro.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
porno
the
intro,
porno
yeah.
intro. Fuck, I totally forgot about that one. Yeah, the surströmming. Once in a while, it just pops up in my head, and it like I keep thinking like,
Like, I get if that is hard, obviously, because you need to
is
get...
there any way you guys can send some to me in Belgium, and then I can pay you guys back? Is that something we can work out?
Can look into it. Could be illegal to mail. I have no idea.
that is my biggest concern.
But we can look into it.
I found one Swedish, like sort of Swedish shops where I could get it, but it's in Brussels, and I'm not driving 2 hours for fucking fish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
But anyway, Alex, I'm going to ask you to give me, since we all know you're so good at doing impressions, right?
Yep.
I'm going to ask you to give me a little impression of a French postman that's delivering mail in the 1950s. What would that sound like?
Oh, madame. Is your monsieur home? I have some baguettes to deliver to him.
Are they writing their letters on baguettes? Is that what's going on?
Oui.
Okay.
Oh, wait, he is not home, but you are a woman. You are not qualified to take the mail. I'm sorry, I cannot give it to you. But you are a beautiful lady.
Stop your voting, you fucking pig.
Stop showing me your ankles, you little whore.
You baguette slurping whore.
If I come back tomorrow, I put you in the Bastille.
Now I want that same postman to imagine himself having the sensation of shrinking and then fire surrounding him. What would that sound like?
Oh, it is warm.
My baguette is on fire!
Oh no, my baguette magique, it is burning.
All right, but that's exactly what we're going to talk about, because on 16th of August 1951, postman Leon Amunière was doing his rounds in the southern French towns of Pont-Saint-Esprit. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, I've been there many
Pont-Saint-Esprit,
times.
does that name ring any bell?
Yeah, I go there every summer.
Like, no, you don't, you fucking jerk. Don't be a dick. Does that ring any bells, the name Pont-Saint-Esprit? Because it should.
Nope.
All
I
right.
think Palm Springs, but in French.
Excuse me?
Are you saying Palm Springs, but in French?
Pont-Saint-Esprit? No, it's a small village in France.
It sounded like you were saying Palm Springs, but with a French accent.
It's a name, all right? My name is Andy. If I go into France, it's not all of a sudden gonna be Andy.
But it is.
Because it's the same name. So Pont-Saint-Esprit is Pont...
That's the fucking person with the most fucking vanilla name ever, like fucking Andy. Imagine having my fucking name growing up in Sweden where they don't know how to fucking say
Can you make that sound again? That's like the sound that Andy's butthole made when I first pushed in that video.
No. That's like the sound Cinderella made when she got to the ball. A winkety wink.
Hey.
All right, but we got this postman in Pont-Saint-Esprit when he was suddenly overwhelmed by nausea and wild hallucinations. Now, one of his quotes was, "It was terrible. I had the sensation of shrinking, and the fire and the serpents coiling around my arms." Now, Leon now is around, I would think, 90-something years old. He fell off his bike and was taken to the hospital in Avignon. He was put in a straitjacket, but he shared a room with 3 teenagers who had been chained to their beds to keep them under control.
Too much masturbating, probably.
But this guy was 90?
It was 1950.
How old was the guy?
At that point,
Uh-huh.
around somewhere mid-30s, I would guess.
Where did I get
like begin
90
30s, mid-30s, something like that.
Amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he said some of my friends tried to get out of the window. They were thrashing, wildly screaming, and the sound of the metal beds and the jumping up and down, the noise was terrible. I'd prefer to die rather than to go through that again. Now, over the coming days, dozens of other people in the town fell prey to similar symptoms. In fact, starting August 15, one day before Leon Amunière had this, 250 people were diagnosed with wild hallucinations, visions of fire. Snakes was a big one as well. I remember there was one daughter of a guy that was screaming that she had hair coming out of her mouth every time she talked, and she kept trying to pull it out. The hair, pull it out of her mouth, but she couldn't get it out. So there's more than 250 people having violent hallucinations.
Did someone put like
in this town?
fucking like mushrooms in the water supply or something, or like
Well,
lead?
No,
Yeah.
aliens.
It was aliens! Oh, God.
Aliens put in hair in my mouth.
It was the Pleiadians coming to Earth. No.
The mind
But
and the mind chip, like controlling with the settings, playing around.
And then they were tasked with 50 years later of taking down MH370.
Boom. Full circle.
Yeah.
Welcome. This was the At Random podcast. See you.
But actually, just so you guys know, this isn't directly involved with aliens, but I would categorize it as being the same because it does fall under the ginormic spread of what's it called again? Conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
This is all conjecture because nothing around this has ever been proven, but something went on in that town. Now, in the 1950s, we were just coming back or starting to massively come back from the Second World War, right?
Mm-hmm.
This little town was a progressive town. It was a leftist town and flagged by the US of A as being a red town, which indicates...
Oh.
Yeah.
Trouble.
You're a fucking communist, bro! So, yeah. Also, what you need to know that would tie or could tie in somewhere around that is that there were 2 army facilities close by, including a military airbase where people could come into the country, quote-unquote, undetected. But, yeah, what we're going to cover today is the curious case of Pont-Saint-Esprit in France, which was, as you just heard, a very peculiar case of an entire town just going mad overnight. Off the top of your heads, without keeping in mind without keeping in mind the U.S. government and all conspiracy theories, what would you think could have infected 250 people?
LSD.
Mm-hmm.
In the water supply. It's like the precursor to whatever that fucking one the CIA did.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was called, but that one.
But that's the thing. That's actually exactly what we're going to talk about today. This is the one where it wasn't the water supplies. It's a misconception that there was ever a town where the water supplies got laced with LSD and an entire town was in a fit of rage and madness and killed each other. I think in total in Pont-Saint-Esprit, 7 people died by jumping out of windows and all that shit. It's more like suicide stuff. Yeah. But the conspiracy goes CIA infested the bread by a baker.
Oh, the baguettes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, actually, not the bread itself, but the grains he was using laced them with LSD. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, what the CIA might or might not have done. First, I'm going to go over to you with, what I don't like to do it, but I have to because it's pretty accurate. The Wikipedia background and shit like that.
Yep.
It's basically the case of the cursed bread. The majority of academic sources accept ergot poisoning as the cause of the epidemic. All right? Mm-hmm. This is like an epidemic. By the way, just so you know how severe this was, it went on for 3 to 7 days, I think, in total. One person was, an interviewee, was recorded as saying that he was unable to sleep for 21 days.
Fuck. Wouldn't you, die?
Don't know. I don't know if you ever spent... He tried to sleep. He tried everything, but he couldn't. He was not able to sleep.
I think 3 weeks is the verge. After that, you do die.
Maybe this guy was an elephant.
Yeah.
Random fact I learned this week, people. Elephants only sleep 2 hours a day.
Do they?
It's true. Yep. I Googled which animal sleeps the least. It's an elephant.
Why did you Google that?
I called my friend a sloth because he sleeps all day, and he's like, on that point, what animal sleeps the least? And I was like, I have no fucking idea. Let's go find out. It's elephants. The world's one of the biggest animals on the planet. Sleeps 2 hours a day.
Oh, well.
I just thought, random fact, someone needs to learn something.
And his day is calculated as being just 2 hours and 45 minutes.
What?
Nothing. I was told a bad joke. Leave me alone.
I just love the sound of disappointment in their own voice.
I didn't get any joke out of it. No joke vibes. I'm sorry. All right, sorry. Let's stop derailing about elephants.
Yeah. All right. So, but people suspected there were other sorts of poisoning possible, though the effects those have on the human body do not comply with what actually happened. So you can basically rule them out. 3 of them being like more widely known or more commonly used is mercury poisoning,
Yep.
mycotoxins, or nitrogen trichloride. Now, during the Vichy government, the supply of grains from field to mill to bakery was directed by the government's Grain Control Board, the Office National Interprofessionnel de Cereales, or ONIC for short, and later the Union Meunière. Essentially, this created a government monopoly on the sales of flour, allowing the government a measure of control over wartime supply shortages. So they're still coming back from the Second World War and all that shit.
Yep.
So everything is basically still under control of the government. Everything that's allowed in, everything that's not allowed in. Everybody was still on the guard because of the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this also meant that flour would be purchased directly from ONIC, from the aforementioned government facility, and delivered to the baker for a set price, without the baker being able to have any control on quality.
Oh, it's just like, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Give us money, here's some stuff.
Exactly. Now, following the end of the Second World War, this system was somewhat relaxed, allowing for bakers to have some choice over their flour supply. Now, the ONIC retained its monopoly on interdepartmental exportation and importation. By this system, millers in departments with more supply than demand could sell the excess to ONIC. In practice, this meant that the higher quality flour would be delivered to local bakers and the lower quality flour would be exported to other departments. And by the way, if we're talking about departments in France, this is a different...
Africa.
Well, it's sort of like a different district. Let's call it that.
But not like they're African colonies or something. They're not just like, oh, like, hey, Ghana or whatever. Like,
well, they
you,
call
you
it. They call them arrondissements, which is basically just a city or a small town. Now, there's these departments with net flour deflicts, like the Gard department, in which Pont-Saint-Esprit was located, would be supplied with lower quality flour from other departments via this ONIC. Now, with the bakers having virtually no choice over the province or quality of their flour. In the weeks preceding the outbreak, several villages near Pont-Saint-Esprit reported outbreaks of food poisoning via bread. These outbreaks were all linked to bakeries that made their bread with most, if not all, of their flour supplied by the mill of Maurice Meillet in Saint-Martin-de-la-Rivière. La Rivière. The symptoms reported were milder than those reported in Pont-Saint-Esprit, but they were still there. By the way, this miller and the baker guy from Pont-Saint-Esprit actually went to jail because it was only after years and years that they began to look at shit differently.
Yeah.
At this point, they're still believing it's the flour and the grains and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, so just like, it's bad quality grain.
Yeah,
Sick.
basically.
Yep.
Basically. And so these guys actually went, I think it was like somewhere around 7 to 8 years that they went to jail. They actually had a fair break of their lives taken away to them.
It's not a lot, though, if it led to, like, people dying.
If it led to 7 murders, basically, was what you would have done involuntarily. I don't know. Who do you blame? The guy that makes the bread that has no choice over the flour that he gets and just does a job, or like the government?
The baker got you. I thought the miller. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
The
but
guy like supplying the grain, probably, if he was in on it.
Yeah, but
obviously.
nobody knows really what happens. I mean, I've heard stories. I've heard stories where they said, "Oh, there was like rat poison bags, and they threw the flour bags on top of that, and it sort of seeped into each other and shit like that."
Yep.
Yeah, there were a couple of theories on how that would have been possible, but I don't know. I mean, if that were to happen, my guess would have been it wouldn't have been the first time he did that.
Mm-hmm.
He put those bags on each other because otherwise, if it was already a problem, why would he keep doing it?
Yep.
So yeah, I'm having a hard time believing that, because I know that human nature is to follow this robotic thing. Is like, oh, my flour goes in that corner, so I'll put it in that corner.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I don't know, like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep.
At any rate, at Issarak, at least 20 people reported contagious eruptions, diarrhea, vomiting, and headaches. Similar symptoms were reported in Laval Saint-Romain. Multiple families were reported sick in Gourdaguet. Jesus, these names, man. And La Motte du Rhône. In Conneau, the town's baker received reports from his clients that they believed his bread was causing violent diarrhea. So here and there, like in these lower regions where the worse for wear flour was going to, you could hear like, people were shitting themselves, basically.
Yep.
So that went on for a very, very long time, believing that it was the flour. And like I said, people actually went to jail for this. That is until Hank Albarelli, an investigative journalist, got involved, because he investigated the whole thing and said, quote unquote, "I don't have any doubt whatsoever that what happened at Pont-Saint-Esprit was an experiment conducted for specific military and intelligence purposes to benefit the United States government."
Would not surprise me at all.
Yeah. So basically, this is the precursor of everything that's happened before all this horrible shit goes down. And there's still survivors out there. Like, this isn't from an era where it's just like pictures and written words. You can actually go on YouTube and find, if you just type in Pont-Saint-Esprit, you'll be able to find quickly some people talking about their experiences.
Yep.
Oddly enough, there was one woman that says, "I don't believe it was witchcraft," which leads me to believe that some people believe that it was witchcraft.
Burn the miller at the stake and burn the baker, burn them. Let's do a pogrom.
Oh, and my wife too. She's a witch.
Yeah. Take the whore.
Take all of them. I got 5 kids. Take them as well. They're all witches.
Devil spawn.
Oh yeah, of course. But yeah, so 250. Now, I want to, like, for people that have a hard time believing that the U.S. government could do such a thing, and, as I lovingly refer to them, the sheeple. Yeah, they put their own soldiers next to nuclear explosions to show that fact that nuclear... This is around the same time, by the way.
Yeah, this was on the Marshall Islands or something, I think.
Yeah. There's like 2 locations where they did this. They just put their a whole bunch, like 150 soldiers near nuclear explosions to show how little radiation matters. And
They really did that?
Yeah, they had 2 sites in the Marshall Islands. There's two islands that are so irradiated now that they had to move out, like the indigenous people and everything, and you can never go back there. And they had people standing on the beach watching the explosions, like.
And actually, the general that said, that was there as well, recording, because everybody was freaking out over radiation.
Yeah,
the general actually said, it's not the radiation that you should be worried about. As you can see, it's the communists that are the only problem in this world right now. So, and by the way that they would clean themselves off from this radiation, so huge fucking nuclear boom. You see these soldiers sitting in front of this towering high fucking blast, seeing them shock back a little bit from the blast that actually happened. And their way of cleaning themselves off of this radiation was with a broom. Like, it's literally just taking a broom, rubbing it on somebody, and then
this
just, you're good.
This shit is on video. You can go on YouTube and watch the nuclear testing videos of people just like standing there watching them in the Marshall Islands in the 50s.
So, you know, for people out there that don't believe that they were able to do shit to their own soldiers, they did shit to their own people. So why wouldn't they to people from who they cared nothing about, you know?
Yeah, and let's face it, around this time as well, they would just turn back to the French government's face and be like, well, you know, do you remember what we did in Normandy when we saved your ass, you fuckers?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, you owe us. So,
and not only that, the majority of France was on the right. This little town was still left. These were still, for all intents and purposes, these were commies.
Yeah, filthy.
Well, they weren't
Reds.
commies, of course. I mean, they were the same as we're left now. They were just progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the United States government, man. I fucking love them so much. But so, the thing that happened after the whole explosions and around that area of time was that they started doing experiments with a little liquid magic. And Alex already said what that liquid magic was called. And of course, Alex.
Was it lysergic something?
Oh, you actually know the name?
Lysergic acid. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
LSD. I can't remember the exact. It's like lysergic some.
Yeah. So, but it's already widely known at this point that they did experiments on soldiers themselves because they were trying to find a way to win a war without making any casualties, which is, for all intents and purposes, an actually good thing to, you know, it's a great way to start a dictatorship, you know.
Yep.
You don't die, you just go insane.
Yeah. I mean, what could go wrong?
well, 250 people could go mad and 7 of them could die.
But they were filthy communists, so
oh yeah, they were commies, all right. Those filthy fucking progressive pigs. But the thing is, so the United States, they started doing, and I believe in the 1950s, because Pont-Saint-Esprit was 1951. They started doing in the 1950s experiments on their own soldiers, which is basically, look, you're gonna get a raise in the army, but you don't get to leave this facility for 6 months, and you basically have to do a couple of experiments. And these soldiers were like, all right, well, for a pay raise, because again, after the war, nobody has too much money. It's all just starting to slowly get back to normal life again.
Yeah.
But so these soldiers were like, of course, yeah, we're doing this. And so they were given a glass of water the first day, then a glass of LSD the day after that, and then I think like they upped the doses or something. I can't remember what happened next. Yeah. But like basically they didn't know what they signed up for. And this project to use this miracle cure was called Project MK Ultra.
That's the one, MK Ultra.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, wait, it's not something else? Because I wanted to say it before, but I was like, no.
What do you mean?
I had the MK Ultra, and I wanted to say it before, but then I was like, wait, is that something else? And then I just kind of forgot about it. So I was going to say it earlier, but I did.
Yeah, I forgot
MK
the name.
Ultra.
MK Ultra. I just think of Mortal Kombat Ultra. That's how I remember it. Bunch of people on acid killing each other.
Mortal Kombat Ultra, which is what my butt was like on that picture in the beginning of the show. Ding ding, glock, 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 glock. Yeah, thank you. My own jizz in my mouth. Yeah. All right. So it was also called the CIA Mind Control Program. And it's the go name given to the program of experiments on human subjects that were designed and undertaken by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, or short, the KIA, or the CIA. Some of which were, of course, by all intents and purposes, a little bit illegal, you know. But if you look the other way, it's not illegal. So, yeah, no, it's
Do the laws apply when you make the laws?
Dude, Project MKUltra was against every human right ever. Like,
yep.
Like that was nothing right about that. Now, these experiments on humans were intended to identify and develop drugs and procedures to be used in interrogations in order to weaken the individual and force confessions through mind control.
Yeah, and get those filthy commies, the Reds under the beds, get them to give you that information.
Oh, yeah. The project was organized through the Office of Scientific Intelligence of the CIA and coordinated with the U.S. States Army Biological Warfare Laboratories, which started roughly after the Second World War that they saw because of the mustard gas that was used in the Second World War, which was a big fucking turn
Wasn't that
point.
The First World War?
Mustard gas?
I think so.
Could be. I know that mustard gas was a big turning point in warfare in general. Yeah. Like that was for a short while before they like really got into gas mask and that was
it was
a
like
big
instantly
fucking...
just go in the trenches, just gas them and like kill like 1,000 soldiers. No worries.
Oh yeah. Now other code names for the drug related experiments were Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke. The operation was officially sanctioned in 1953, reduced in scope in 1964, and further curtailed in 1967. It was officially halted completely in around 1973.
So that ran for 20 years.
Yeah, somewhat 20
Jesus.
years, yeah. The program also engaged in legal activities, including the use of U.S. and Canadian citizens as its unwitting test subjects, so people did not know what they were signing up for, which led to the controversy regarding its legitimacy. MKUltra used numerous methods of manipulating its subjects' mental states and brain functions. Techniques included the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD was the big one that they used. They also were known to use electroshocks, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation, like isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, as well as other forms of basically torture.
Yeah. Nice way of saying torture.
Yeah. It was first brought to the public attention, MKUltra, in 1975 by the Church Committee of the United States Congress at Gerald Ford's United States President Commission on CIA activities within the United States. It's also more widely known as the Rockefeller Commission, I think.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah, the CIA Director Richard Helms ordered that all MKUltra files be destroyed in 1973. Of course, that didn't help, and that didn't completely happen. They uncovered a cache of 20,000 documents relating to the project MKUltra, which led to the Senate hearing later that year. And that was somewhere around 1977. Some surviving information regarding MKUltra was declassified in July 2001, which is when it hit mainstream for us to know what a lot of shit happened then. Thanks to Dr. Internet, of course.
Did they release it just after 9/11? All that information
probably.
As well?
Probably.
Conveniently.
No, I don't think it was. No, 9/11 was the. It's the 11th September, right?
Yeah, because Americans do the dates the wrong way because they're fucking idiots. But,
yeah, no, they declassified all that shit in July.
Oh, okay, so it was before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure. You never know.
If I were to say that it was after 9/11, you could say, yo, Andy, July. Yeah. That's it. Prankster Andy, is that it again? Now, in December 2018, declassified documents, including a letter to an unidentified doctor discussing work on 6 dogs made to run, turn, and stop via remote control and brain implants. So it was like animal testing as well and all that shit. Now that we have a brief summary of what Project MK Ultra does, we can basically say that the next part of the whole Pont-Saint-Esprit thing was the CIA came in through these 2 military bases that was close by. One of which, by the way, was a U.S. used Air Force base.
Mm-hmm.
So they came in, wanted to check out. This is like what is believed to have happened and what I think is most plausible.
Mm-hmm.
These were flagged as reds. They came in via the military airfield where one CIA agent would not necessarily have to have signed documents to come into the country.
Yeah.
Because it's US owned, of course. They came in, got a hold of a few ton of those flour bags and laced them with LSD with all the horrendous stuff that entailed. 250 people going apeshit, hospitals being overrun, people thinking like fire. I remember fire was a big part of the hallucinations. Like they saw fire everywhere. People came in the room to say like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? And they just thought that these people were on fire or were spitting fire at them.
What if it was like a strain of LSD? You know, it's like strains of weed. But yeah, this is like the fireball LSD.
But when it comes to LSD, like, is it your own imagination that triggers these hallucinations, or is it actually, are you able to like chemically manipulate what type of hallucinations you can have? I don't know. I don't do LSD on the regular, so
Actually, I do think there's a more volatile strain of LSD. There's different strains. I'm not sure about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've actually seen a woman in the 1960s, something around that they put on LSD to see the effects of it on a, I don't know if it was an experiment or if it was a TV show, but she was talking so peacefully about it. She was like, oh, and everything's so vibrant and I could sense and smell the colors and everything's so great.
I think in that case it must have done with like the dosage, the amount of LSD. Obviously, because if you do it on a particular subject, like, okay, you have one person, you can dose it exactly on the measurements of the person. Like, okay, you weigh this much, this is your age.
Yeah.
I think this is how you're going to react because, like, not thinking about it, I don't think there might be strands of LSD. I think it all has to do with the dosage of the amount of LSD that you consume.
That could be also what I would think is that like the woman agreed to take the LSD to see what effects it would have. So she would have
an open mind to it.
In a peaceful state of mind as she was taking it, knowing like if something happens to me, there's people around. These people in this town that ate the bread didn't know what hit them, meaning that from the moment they started feeling weird and then really weird, that they would have gone into this panic. And if that panic triggers your psychotic, like what you see, your visions and all that, I mean, if that's the catalyst for what you are, if the precursor of emotion is the catalyst for what you're going to see during your trip, then I would think that fear would be a fuck show if it hit you like that.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe probably coming out of the World War II, the fire would be sort of a fear very present in their minds. Obviously, that would be
Let me ask you a question. Have you guys ever done psychedelic drugs like mushrooms or anything like that?
I haven't. I've done MDMA. Is that psychedelic? Nah.
Not really, no.
I've done acid and shrooms once each.
Okay, well, Alex, all right, I'm going to ask you this question. This is going to basically solve it all, I think. Would you do mushrooms around people that, like 3 people, your best friends that you know are trustworthy and would take care of you. Would you feel comfortable using mushrooms then?
Yeah, that's who I did it with. Basically,
all right.
in that exact scenario.
So, what if I told you I'm going to give you the same amount of mushrooms and I'm going to put you in a straitjacket in a holding cell?
Oh,
So
fuck
nothing,
no.
again, nothing will happen to you. You know, you're perfectly safe because you'll be tied and shit like that. But you'll be in that straitjacket, and in that case, with cushioned walls. See, it's the exact. This is what I'm getting at. Is like the situation where it happens in. It's gonna trigger your mind into this fear reaction, and that fear reaction is gonna make
when you're tripping balls.
Exactly. So I think.
Isn't that what happened to your friend?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, when we tried it, we did acid, and then he saw himself lying dead in the gutter on the street. Like
Fuck.
And like surrounded by flowers and shit, and could not stop crying. I was like, dude, I'm talking to you like you're still alive. He's like, oh, it's like, I was like, oh, fuck that.
No,
Never again.
I'm not alive.
Never again. I mean, I was like 19 or something. It was a very long time ago.
Yeah. I think the best thing you can do when somebody's tripping balls and they're starting to panic is shake them very hard and then shout at them. Usually that helps.
And then you like open their mouth, put it on the curb on the street, and then step on their head.
Yeah, and just grab a knife, hold it in front of their eyes, and yell, "I'm not gonna stab at you. I'm not gonna stab at you. I am chicken bread."
And then blood eagle them.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, but do it.
It's when apparently the Vikings allegedly used to do this. You while they're still alive, they're tied up, arms spread wide. You get an axe, crack open the back of their rib cage, rip it open, take the heart,
I know that.
and put it up on their shoulder or something. Or the lungs, and put it up.
Yeah,
on them.
but don't do that. Just tell them everything's gonna be okay, but in a very aggressive way.
Yeah.
What's
think
funny
that would
about what the Viking, the Blood Eagle, is like usually when they've been punished or like they've been sentenced to get Blood Eagle, obviously you're not supposed to show fear because then you won't get into Valhalla. So obviously if you scream or cry, you would die a horrible death.
Fucking hacked him open with an axe.
Yeah,
and
but
ripped out my
but that's the
lungs.
thing. It's like Vikings were like that. They wouldn't scream or cry or die. Like when they were dying, it was seen as dishonorable. And that's imprinted on them, was imprinted on them as from kids. That when you die, it's something glorious because you'll go to Valhalla and you'll become a warrior.
Yeah, I'd choose the LSD then, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Seems more preferable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at any rate, so that is what happened at Pont-Saint-Esprit. 250 people just simultaneously had all sorts of...
I just read something very interesting on this.
Yeah, go on.
Well, actually, a fact about LSD, which is lysergic acid diethyl amide.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a kind of mold that grows on rye grains. So what if it was natural all along?
Wait, say that again?
It's developed from ergo, which is or ergot, I don't know.
Yeah, this is the original theory.
Yeah, it's a type of mold that grows on rye grain.
It's widely believed that this ergot was the but the thing is, in other places where this ergot supposedly had gotten, people reported diarrhea, people reported feeling nauseous.
Yeah.
People didn't.
But maybe it was the way that the guy stored it that made the LSD mold grow in a proper way, like just to crack holes and like try to figure it out. Maybe
theorize.
Theorize.
Three different theories out there.
Yeah, the way he stored it made the mold flourish so much that it went on full on LSD, and people were tripping because this guy had sent an old shipment of grains instead of the fresh ones. Like I don't know. It's like I need to get rid of this old pile here that I have.
Yeah.
Send it to that town.
I apologize, I was wrong. I'm on this drug website. They say technically MDMA/ecstasy can be hallucinogenic, though much lower chance.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I would believe the symptoms from the other towns, But this was like a local doctor who witnessed the mysterious, like the tragedy. The doctor itself called it a quote-unquote an apocalyptic night. One young girl believed she was being attacked by tigers. A boy of 11 tried to strangle his mother and grandmother, threw herself against a wall and broke 3 ribs. One man flung himself from the 2nd floor of a hospital window shouting, "I am a plane!"
He was Superman, obviously.
Yeah. This was probably the very young brother of the guy that was on AMH 370. What was it again?
MH 370.
370, yeah. Now, even more bizarrely, the fall broke both his legs, but he got up and ran for 5 meters before collapsing.
Oh.
Many more of the locals endured like hallucinations involving snakes, fire, and monsters. Now, Albarelli, the guy that the investigative journalist backed up with his thesis with a transcript of a conversation between the CIA and the Swiss laboratory Sandoz, which invented LSD in 1938. Now, the lab made reference to the secret of Pont-Saint-Esprit, something that's called diethylamine, which is a component of LSD. Furthermore, he claims that 2 former CIA researchers told him that the village was subjected to an air blitz of pulverized LSD to force the townspeople to take in the substance through the air. According to the researchers, this manner of distribution proved unsuccessful, forcing the CIA to move on to phase 2, which was contaminating the local food. Also, Stephen Kaplan, a U.S. historian specializing in French food history and the author of the 2000 book Le Pain Maudit, told France 24 television in France, "I have numerous objections to this paltry evidence against the CIA. First of all, it's clinically incoherent. LSD takes effects in just a few hours, whereas the inhabitants show symptoms only after 36 hours or more. Furthermore, LSD does not cause the digestive ailments or the vegetative effects described by the townspeople. Furthermore, Kaplan deemed the whole notion harebrained. It's absurd, this idea of transmitting a very toxic drugs by putting it in bread," he said. As for pulverizing it for ingestion through the air, that technologically was not even possible at the time, he claims, of course. Most compellingly, why would they choose the town of Pont-Saint-Esprit to conduct these tests? It was half destroyed by the U.S. Army during fighting with the Germans in the Second World War. It makes no sense. The CIA's conspiracy theory is not only one put forth to explain the events of 1951. The most common hypothesis blames the bakery of Pont-Saint-Esprit, the idea being that some unknown fungus affected the rye used in making the bread, bringing in
ergot.
Ergot, yeah. A form of poisoning that can psychologically affect those who ingest it. However, without more evidence, this theory remains flimsy because ergot has not existed in France since the 18th century. So, I mean, the reason I tend to go with the CIA is because they've been known to do it. It's one.
Mm-hmm.
They claim it's not a targeted location, yet we all know how the Americans were against whatever is flagged red. And clearly they couldn't get into Russia, so, you know, France was just the next big thing. Like, don't tell me that America never got involved with another country. Because when you look at Fidel Castro and all that bullshit...
Mate, I'm pretty sure we've already said this before. Anything like this happened in South America, in the Middle East, anywhere. The US has had their fucking tentacles in there. Of course. Like they've done everything. Every dictatorship in South America was all plotted by the US.
Yeah.
Every
to
single
take down the Reds under the bed.
Yes, every single one. Every time any country has even looked at maybe changing their politics and making their country a better, like, because obviously now the US are in the Middle East because there's the oil and all this shit. back in the day, you had all the minerals in South America, oil as well.
Yeah.
So wherever would hurt their pockets, they would get in.
Yeah, of course. But and that's the reason why I tend to believe the MK Ultra sort of plot here in this case is because like, I mean, again, ergot does grow, but like you said, the effects aren't that volatile, and this is clearly a volatile fucking scenario. Girl being attacked by tiger isn't something that I would call a mild hallucinogenic effect.
How does a girl in France in the 1950s know what a tiger is? Like, you have drawings and stuff, but like to...
Pretty sure people know what tigers are for, a few thousand years.
Yeah, but still, like, you wouldn't see a tiger in a village.
Look, we can all agree this is the fault of the Swiss. They invented one thing ever in LSD, the only thing the Swiss have ever made. And
well, they have Swiss cheese.
I agree, yeah, but that's pretty good. But cheese, I say, but up that under cheese. Everyone
chocolate?
invented cheese.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They didn't invent chocolate. Everyone invented chocolate. But the Swiss made LSD, the only thing they ever invented other than corrupt FIFA people. And look what happened. They fuck up the French. They fuck up the Americans. Swiss, they're not neutral at all. They're just fucking drug addicts. They're tripping balls. They're too lazy to go to war because they're too busy fucking worrying about lions and fireballs and demons.
Of course.
If you're Swiss and you listen to this, can you help me launder some money?
Yeah, I got some flour here you can have your hands on if you want to. I got a city to poison.
You got any gold bars I can buy?
Yeah.
From your dodgy
like
banker
300 angry Belgians freaking out in my city, and I'm running amidst them. Prankster Andy struck again.
It's like your underpants on your head, wearing a cape.
Yeah. I would never wear a cape because I watch The Incredibles. Haha. All right. Well, on that note. Capes are dangerous. You can get caught in an airplane when you're flying.
Yeah.
It happened to Blaze Storm, or what was his name again? What? Just say it, Ali.
What?
Last week we were friends because you had the same theory as I did with the MH370 plane.
No, we're not friends.
We are friends. You're not in a place where you want to admit it yet. Well, at any rate, ergot fucking poisoning, plausible. CIA shit, plausible as well. I'm going with CIA. You make up your own mind.
Swiss.
Watch documentaries on your... Yeah, Swiss cheese, also plausible.
Blame the Swiss.
Is what Alex says.
Fuck him.
Yeah. But yeah. So we don't really know what happened, but let's blame it on the CIA and keep laughing at all the Americans and all the shit they did in the past.
Yeah, because they don't do shit now.
Yeah, but now they just do shit to themselves.
They have Biden. They're saved now.
Hey, no,
nothing going to happen.
We should encourage the US right now. They're like reality TV.
They are.
Good job, guys. You're like Big Brother.
They did the first good thing since they invited Obama in office again. They were like, all right, well,
maybe that fucking Bernie Sanders memes everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, oh, it's so cute. It's so cute with little gloves.
Just fucking stop it, please. Like, if we have to do another fucking week with that shit, fuck me.
You just don't like good people. You're just angry because Trump lost.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, look, she even has a Texas flag behind her there, hanging up.
Yeah.
It's not a Texas flag.
Yeah, but if you're an idiot, you'd think it was.
Yeah. No, but that's the worst, because sometimes when they're like food trucks, and because what Alex is pointing in, so if you join the Discord, you can actually see I have a Chilean flag hanging, which it looks very similar to the Texan flag.
It's the Texan
So join
flag.
the Discord, link in the description down below. But that's the most disappointing when you're like out of festivals or out when there's food trucks, and I sometimes see the star and like the flag just flying, and I'm like, shit, this Chilean food, yes, and I try to go there, and then I realize it's fucking Texan, and I'm like, fuck
so you're
off.
the moron, but you're like the reverse moron. Like, I think it's Chilean, but it's actually Texan.
No, but sometimes when you just see it like in the horizon, you're like, yes.
Hey, we got people
hype.
listening in Texas, actually. I think it's like our second most popular spot.
But like, isn't
I'm sorry.
Chilean food just half, like 50% like vegetables, 50% fire?
What?
Isn't that like the spiciest fucking food on the planet?
No.
Nah, they're vanilla.
Is it? Okay.
They're boring.
Okay.
No.
I was very sad when I started realizing that it wasn't spicy. I love spicy
No.
food, and I was like, wait a minute.
Depends
None
on the
of this
cookies.
is spicy.
You've eaten my mom's food. My mom doesn't like spice.
No, well, this isn't the cooking hour.
Yeah.
And I really need
All right,
to
well,
piss,
yeah,
so we
yeah.
should finish this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, all right. Well, on that note, CIA did it. Fuck it. I'm claiming that one. CIA did it. CIA fucking LSD 250 people and killed 7. On that lovely note, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us on social media and like join up and talk to us and do all the fun shit you're supposed to do on the social medias. And what are those social media accounts, guys?
So on Instagram, we are at @random.podcast. So at.random.podcast.
And on Twitter, we are AT_randompod. And
Yup.
of course, check out.
The Discord server.
Yes, then you can see the video that we lost our shit about at the beginning.
Yeah. If you want to join up, then you can click that link in the description box below and just download the app to your phone or on your laptop, wherever
It's free.
It's free.
No
yeah.
viruses,
You don't have to
nothing.
pay a cent. No, nothing. And you'll get to see me and Alex naked. Me jizzing on my face.
I'm just going to leave it there. See you later.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.